welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooklyn and this is the Beauty and the Beast book tag. So I was tagged in this by the beautiful Leandra from Leandra the TBR0, and if you're not already following her, what are you doing? Honestly, you need to go follow her. Her link is down below, as well as a lot of my other bookish friends and anyone that I have tagged in this video. Anyone at all though, feel free definitely to do this. I'm really excited to do this, as you know I love romance so much, and I'm really excited to share some of these because they really go hand in hand with romance a lot, but a few of them I haven't picked romance. But yeah, you'll see. It's a fun time, don't worry. First one is Oh What a Guy, Gaston. A villain that you can't help but love. For this, I really thought about this one, probably the longest out of all of them, because I could not pick. Like, I love a lot of villains. I don't know why, but I love like that bad boy vibe. And I know that I'm not thinking like about romance all the time, but I just like couldn't, I don't really read books with villains in them because a lot of the books I read are romance. However, with fantasy, there is always a bad guy, a bad person. And I was trying to think of villains that are just so like multifaceted and have so many layers and are just so interesting to think about. And the first person that came to mind, who isn't really a villain, but does villainy things, would probably be Manon from the Throne of Glass series. We don't really meet her until Heir of Fire. However, she becomes such a big component of this series, and even though I'm not finished yet, I absolutely love her. Another villain that I was thinking of is Sebastian from the Mortal Instruments series. He doesn't really come into it for a while as well, and he isn't the main villain really from the start of it. So there's just a lot of people, certain aspects of them that are villainous, but they're not really the villain, if you know what I mean. So I really struggled with this prompt. Okay, the next one was definitely more up my alley, and that is Here's Where She Meets Prince Charming, your one true pairing, your OTP. Now, I have a lot for this, as you probably could assume. The main one, I'd have to say, is Lena and Aaron from the Spanish Love Deception. Oh my gosh, these two. I think because I actually enjoyed Lena's perspective and her as a protagonist, I really can put them together and go, I love you guys together, because a lot of the time I do not enjoy the female protagonists in romance. These two, oh my goodness, everything about them, their dynamic, their relationship, their conversations, I live for it. And I can't get enough. So yep. And then the other one, this may be a little bit spoilery, so if you haven't read Throne of Glass, I guess anyone reading it, Manon and Dorian, from their very first interaction, I was like, yes, this is where we are going and this is it. This is everything that I needed in my life, and it's right here in this book. Actually, not really in this book, but these two are so different. Yet they come together in such a way that is just amazing and means so much to me, because I was like, Dorian is one of my favorite male characters in this entire series, and I wanted him to be happy so badly. I was like, nothing's gonna make him happy, but holy hell, Manon did that. And yeah, but I'm not finished yet, so if something happens to these two, I'm not there for that, okay? Also, on the Throne of Glass situation, Selena and Rowan are a definite yes from me. I love those two a lot. And pretty much anyone in the Shadowhunter series. I could go on for a really long time about this one, so just know that a lot of the books I love and give 5 stars that have people together in them are my OTPs. This is a chaotic video already. I apologize. I really do. I'm just a little bit excited about this because it's my life. So the next prompt is so much more than this provincial life, and it is a character that is destined for greater things. And for this, I didn't even need to think about it for very long, and I'm gonna pick Matthew from the Last Hours series. He kind of got screwed around in this series, to be honest. But he is such an in-depth, complex human being that is just incredible and so smart, so artsy, so amazing. He could be anything he wants to, and I think that's why I love him so much, because of what happens to him in these books. He isn't allowed to be his true self all of the time, but he still comes out with like bursts of it, and I just love that. And I love him and I wish him all the best because I miss him. The next prompt is Be Our Guest, and that is a book that made you hungry. Could pick no other than With the Fire on High. This book made me hungry. She is whopping up some good meals in this all of the time. Like, look at this. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you know, not on the back, but like, this book is about food. No, it's a lot more than food, but I think it just shows how much cooking can be something other than something you have to do in your life to make yourself food. It can actually be a skill and a, like, reading. It's a hobby. It takes your mind off things. It makes you express your creativity in such a different way than a lot of other outlets like this. And I loved seeing that in this book. But the recipe she was making, I was like, I need to write this down for myself, because you need to read this book if you love food. That's what I'm saying. The fifth prompt is, of course, Beauty and the Beast, Opposites Attract. And I picked for this one It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. These two are opposite. Very, very, very opposite. LA lifestyle, small fishing town, comes together with, like, oh my god, I can't even, to paint a picture. There's one scene in this book that he is like getting Instagram for the first time, and she's like an influencer basically, and he accidentally likes a photo from like years ago, and oh my god, it's just funny the way that these two attract each other, and the way that it felt wrong for them, the way that each of them interacted, because they are complete utter opposites, was just incredible and my favorite thing ever to witness. Sixth prompt is, but there's something in him that wasn't there before, a character that is more than they seem. For this one, I picked One Last Stop by Casey McQueen. The person that is more than they seem is Jane, and Jane is someone that the main protagonist, August, bumps into on her daily, I want to say, subway ride to and from college in New York City. And the way that this book introduces kind of magical-ish elements to a contemporary setting of New York, such a different thing that I've never seen before, especially in like contemporary romance. Like, you don't see it unless it's like a high fantasy or an urban fantasy. Like, urban fantasy is probably the closest to it that it would be, but it wasn't. It was just like this one little magical element that I guess kind of couldn't be explained, but I loved that, and I loved how it was way more than it seemed to be. And yeah, like, this character is a lot more than they seem to be in so many different aspects and ways that I probably shouldn't explain without spoiling, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But I really recommend this book. Casey McQuinston's writing is absolutely incredible, and the way she does these relationships is just amazing, and it brings like the perfect amount of, I guess, spice, romance, friendship, but also like full, you know, like thoughtful writing that is impactful and funny. Like, I loved it. I love this book. The seventh prompt is one that I actually really love, and that is, I was innocent and certain, now I'm wiser but unsure, and it is a book that has changed you. For this one, I decided to pick Catching Fire, which is the second book in the Hunger Games. And you've probably never seen me hold this book up before on my channel, except in like my bookshelf tour and stuff. But I don't really talk about books that I read like years and years ago that often. But like, this one is something that I will never forget reading. I read this, I want to say, I read this in like 2013. It had such an impact on my feeling towards books. Like, I never knew a book to make me respond in such a different way, and stuff that happens in this book, specifically in this series, I could not believe that, first of all, it was happening. Like, I think I know a lot of people have read this and have watched the movies and know what happens in this book, but the fact that I was just so shook from everything that happened in that, I thought the things that happened were so smart and just so incredibly entertaining and amazing. I just couldn't believe the first series that I've gone, I need to read the next book, like right now. I can't go another day without reading the next book. And that has definitely started this addiction, but also changed my life in such an amazing way that I am very appreciative of. The next prompt is Kill the Beast, a book you picked up because of the hype. And I would say a lot of Colleen Hoover books are the case, and mainly It Ends With Us. I had no interest in reading this, and then a lot of people were like loving it, absolutely loving it. When this came out, I was like done with reading Colleen Hoover, and then it became popular, so you know, I went for it. Didn't really like it. And then again, Verity, I don't really like Colleen Hoover books that have a lot of hype. I don't know, I shouldn't really like Colleen Hoover either, you know, like the whole thing. Next prompt is I'll Never Shake Away the Pain, a book or moment that always makes you cry. And Cassandra Clare is the moment. Every single book I want to cry, crawl up into a ball and just never speak to anyone again until she puts my heart back where she found it. Just like specifically this one right here. Lord of Shadows did stuff to me that I'm not proud of. Clockwork Princess, holy hell. All of them, I don't know, they're all making me cry every time I read them, and yeah, it's an unhealthy relationship that we have, but I love it. And the last prompt is How Does a Moment Last Forever? And this is a book you've loved since childhood. Also another one that I could not think of a specific book for. Like, I loved a lot of books when I was younger, and a lot of them I don't have here. They're with my mum. There's one in particular, it's like this doll's house book, and that is my absolute favorite. Every time I see it, I just get a flashback of like really warm, nice memory. Make me think of my mum reading to me every night before bed. And the same with like all Roald Dahl's books. Harry Potter has a very big impact on my childhood as well. So that was the Beauty and the Beast tag. A little bit chaotic, I know, as I was a bit all over the place and I was a bit excited about a lot of these books, but I'm really excited to share that. Or we definitely do this tag if you want to, and I can't wait to see you guys respond to these prompts as well, because they're really good and really like versatile and so many options to pick from, no matter your reading taste, to be honest. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Hope you have a lovely day, and bye.